I don't
Yeah,
understand.
I
Really?
know, right? It's so
Okay.
many
All right.
people get
I didn't mean to
it.
interrupt you on that one, but I wanted to make a pretty serious point though. I'm on with DJ Barton. How you doing over there, DJ?
I'm doing great, buddy. How are you today?
Man, fantastic.
Awesome.
Hey, I hear you're out in the middle of where? Minnesota?
Yeah, we're up about 30 miles north of the city, is right on the river, hanging out for a couple minutes here, having some fun. So traveling around this summer, getting out of that Arizona desert heat.
Nice. Yeah, I saw it last night. I guess you had the fire burning. You were burning some fire last night.
Yeah, man, we're enjoying the great outdoors and fires and grilling at night and camping on the weekends, and we've got a little cabin up here on the river, and we're just enjoying the life that has dealt to us. So it's a good thing.
That's fantastic. Well, we go back what about maybe a year, right? Is that
Yeah,
about it?
I'd
About
say
a
about
year?
last year, man, for sure. Been a
Yeah.
lot of fun to get a chance to know who you are and what your goals and your intentions are. You got some amazing things going on.
So DJ, for those of you who don't know, DJ is man, he's a mentor, he's an entrepreneur, and he's doing some amazing things out there. So I wanted to talk to him today about entrepreneurial leadership because it's different than when you're in a positional leadership. It's pretty easy for people to follow you because they really don't have a choice. I mean, they do, but you've been given a piece of you've been put in a position and they're paid to come to work and do things. When you're an entrepreneur, they don't work for you, right?
No.
You're leading a volunteer army. It's like trying to get people at church to do something, right? And it's virtually impossible. And so when it comes to leadership that doesn't necessarily work for you, but you have to motivate and inspire and get them to do things that are in their best interest. And give us some of your background, and then kind of move forward with that line of thinking.
I've been a business owner and entrepreneur for 24 years. Since I was 18, I was the kid that always sat in class that just dreamed big, had big goals and aspirations, and probably were bigger ideas and dreams, if you will, or goals, and probably everybody else around me. They probably thought I was the crazy one. School never kept my attention. Not that I don't believe in education. It just, the right education is crucial. But at 18, I had to make a decision. What do I want to do with the rest of my life? And going to college didn't motivate me. And working a job and just collecting a check and living week to week or month to month didn't inspire me to get out of bed. And so option three, David, was what kind of business can I start? And at the age of 18, you have no business really being in business for the most part. And I got introduced to a profession of the direct selling industry and got coached up by literally the best of the best in the industry. Hands down, I was at the right place at the right time, but I acknowledged it and I took action. And there were a lot of people in the room at the right place at the right time, but some people take action. Some people watch others people's take action. And you got to be an action taker in life to go out and make it happen. But fast forward, man, 24 years later, we've been able to help hundreds and thousands of people around the globe have a better outlook on life and get the results that they're looking for and just give them hope. I call us the hope dealers. But going back to one of your statements is volunteer army, right? A volunteer entrepreneurs are volunteer and they're volunteering their time for your leadership. And there's a lot of people I network with and have a business relationship with that have hundreds of people that pay them to consult for them to grow their business. And they get paid no matter what, right? And with us, it's a little bit different because we don't get paid unless there's results. And the results come from when people that you're motivating, inspiring, and getting them to do something, to take action, right? And that's the industry I grew up in, as a volunteer entrepreneurial army. They say that they want a better quality life, right? They desire a better quality life. You can teach them all the skill set, all the mindset, all the how-to and the functionality, but if they don't have that desire, he'll be leaving in a second. If they don't have that burning red hot desire of achieving more, then it's irrelevant. And that's really what it comes down to. And you got to find the ones that I always tell people, You got to find the ones that are looking for us. Meaning you can't go push dead bears up trees. You can't convince people that they want a better life. You got to look for the ones that raise their virtual hand that's saying, I want more. Are you willing to coach me and mentor me? Because at the same time, David, my mentor 24 years ago, who's still considered my main mentor today, he always taught me, he goes, you got to work where you're deserved, not where you're needed. Isn't that interesting? Because when we went to school, David, and you struggled, guess what? You got in the struggle bus and you went to the special help rooms and got a little love TLC, right? Tender loving care.
Hey, how did you know? How did you know that was my educational path? What's going on here? Is it with the bald head or what?
It's so funny though, because it's in the real world, it flip-flops. In school, if you're struggling, they give you a little extra love. But in business, it's not that way. My mentor said, you got to work where you're deserved, not where you're needed. And people are going to work harder to deserve your time. And that's how you get a volunteer army to move forward. That's one of many ways, is you have to get them to deserve your time, because you can go find other people. People follow strength. They don't follow weakness. And so if you're a leader, you got to work on your inner game first. You got to work on yourself first. And then, what you do on the inside will expose on the outside, where then people will desire to follow you.
That's so powerful right there. It's interesting because even in big box retail management, it's the same concept. You've got to spend your time where you can have the most value added at that point, right? I can make the biggest difference if I put my time over here. And typically that's in helping those that are good get better. And a lot of times other folks they had no intentions of ever improving, of ever overcoming obstacles, of ever doing anything more than what they were currently doing. So you really spent your time developing people that stood up, stood out, stuck their head up and said, hey, take me along with you. So yep. It's even in the paid leadership forces, same concept. But how do you individually find out who you're going to work with, right? How do you make that decision as a volunteer leader as to where your time is really going to go?
So there's I call it bind signs, bind your attention signs. And I don't listen to what people say. I watch what they do. And that was big. People always say, oh, I'm going to be your biggest rock star. I'm going to sign up so many people. I'm going to bring in so many sales. I'm going to do this. And I'm like, literally 100 times out of 100, the ones that say how great they're going to do, they're going to be the worst person to work with. They suck with working with them, man, because I love the silent ones that just go take the action. You give them the tools, you give them the resources, you give them the track to run on. And, I didn't need motivation. When I met my mentor, Mark, I wanted his attention. I wanted to be in that circle. I worked my butt off to be better than everybody around me. I didn't want to be the squeaky wheel and say how many things I'm going to do or this, that, and the other. I wanted to be the machine that snuck up on you. And I kept poking you going, hey, I deserve your attention, not because I'm asking for it, because I'm showing you that I deserve it, right? And so I listen to, I watch. And are they, with my industry, are they putting their contact list together? Are they asking for the right tools? Are they showing up for the training events we do weekly? Are they getting on in the accountability groups that we create? Those are the signs. If they don't participate in the platform and the program and they don't show up, one of my good friends, Jeff, says 80% of success is just showing up. That's it.
There's an awful lot of truth in that.
You just got to show up. You're 80% down the field as long as you just show up, right? The hardest part to working out is the drive from your house to the gym. Once you get there, 80% of success is showing up. You're already there. And so that's how I look at it, man. I just look at signs, and now I watch what people do, not what they say. I love the smackers and the talkers and the jaw grabbers, because most of them aren't doing anything. The ones that are doing something are making results, and they show you by their results, not by talking about it. So it's a lot of fun.
Right. That's funny. That's so true right there. When people take initiative And it's funny because I've said for years that when you take an interest in yourself, others will take an interest in you. And
Mm-hmm.
it's 100%. But a lot of times people show up, but they don't really show up, right?
Mm-mm.
They got 3 hours of sleep the night before, and they show up thinking they're gonna be able to do their job, and they wonder why they're getting in trouble because they're not getting anything done. Because a lot of times those personal habits are so bad that they can't show up good when they show up to work, right? Even though
Yeah,
they're there,
so
they're
true.
not really there. Do you have any hacks or hints on that personal leadership side that have really served you over the years that allowed you to show up?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to everybody wants to play in the NFL or be an MLB player, a soccer player, and they show up on Sundays or game days. But where the true leadership is created is when nobody's looking behind closed doors, right? Are you reading your personal development book 10 pages a day? Are you listening to a 20 or 30-minute audio to start your day while you're having coffee? Or are you watching CNN and NBC and all these news things, and they're programming you with negativity and criticism in your life? We always say garbage in, garbage out, positive in, positive out. You become who you hang out with. I just did a live on this on my personal page. Is you're an average of your 5 closest friends. So if you hang out with 5 rich people, you're going to be the 6th. If you hang out with 5 people in shape, you're going to be the 6th. But if you hang out with 5 dope dealers, you're going to be the 6th dope dealer. And so you become who you hang out with. And so the question you got to ask yourself is, how bad you want it? I love, the hip hopper Eric Thomas. Do you want to have success as bad as you want to breathe? Most people will say yes, but they don't, because it sounds good, right? And at the end of the day, what are you doing behind closed doors? That means nothing. But when you can walk stage and get recognition or get your trophy or get on the game, the field on game day, that's where success is created, and habits. And are you I always say I'm a ditch digger. I've been the best ditch digger, and it's not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's not, flamboyant. You're in the ditch digging a ditch. But the results show that you can become pretty successful if you become a good dick. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Focus on what your goal and intention is, right?
That's so funny. At the gym, I guess it wasn't, I was probably yesterday morning, but we go out one door, we run around the building a couple times, and we come back in the same door we went out. Well, we went out the far door, and she came back in the early door, the one just before it. And I'm like, really? I said, you're going to cheat yourself in the dark? That's going to show up under the lights. You missed 20 feet. She went back out and did the 20 feet and came back in and gave me crap about it. But it's funny because when you learn different principles like that and you apply them to everything gets better. And I wasn't being a jerk. I was just playing with her about it. But
sure.
But when all was said and done, she went back out and she actually did it. And it's interesting. Sometimes we need that follow up. We need somebody to just call us out once in a while when we're not as focused as we need to be and we're not where we need to go. What type of techniques or what do you do as a volunteer, as a leader of volunteers, I should say, to help push them forward, help draw out the best in them, and help them to find what maybe is missing in their entrepreneurial journey?
Sure, man. And how, commenting on what you just said, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? So if you always try to take shortcuts, you're always going to take shortcuts. And when it comes to success and leadership and entrepreneurship, there's no short track. There's no shortcuts. The only way through is through. You have to go through, I call it shitville to get to freedomville. You have to go through and push through all of the things around you. But how do you motivate a volunteer army it really comes down to listening skills, because it doesn't matter what you want, it's what they want. And can you get them to believe that you're the vehicle that's going to get them where they want to go? So when I have people that sign up in my business, it's not about my goals, my expectations, my rank, my this, my that. It's okay, David, let me ask you a question. What got you excited about this opportunity? What do you see in this vehicle that we have that's going to get you to your goals? What are your goals? How committed are you to the goals? And if I can help you hit those goals, are you ready to lock arms with me and let me hold you accountable? Because I'm going to get you to say the yes. I'm going to get you to say the buy-in. I'm going to get you. I'm just here assisting you and getting you where you want to go, right? That's my job. My job's not to do the work for you. It's like a personal trainer. Their job's to give you the scripts, the tools, on what you need to do on a daily basis, how many reps, what the workouts are. They're not going to lift the weight for you. Everybody wants the weight to be lifted for them. They're not going to lift the weight. We're not going to do the work. We're not going to pick up the phone. We're not going to do the presentation. We're not going to do all the different things, but we're going to find out what your goals are. And we're going to ask your permission. Do I have your permission to be your coach, your mentor, hold you accountable, call you out when you're not doing what you're supposed to? Not because I want to be a jerk, but because I want to, the best coaches and teachers I had in high school growing up were the ones at the time I hated because they were so hard on me, but they weren't hard on me in a way where they were like mean and rude. They were just saying the things I needed to hear, but I didn't want to hear at the time of hearing them, right? And
Absolutely.
so my job is to, listen, ask questions, develop a plan, and help you execute, but encourage you, promote you, motivate you, cheer you on, be your counselor when times of trouble. Like, they ride this emotional roller coaster. They have highs, they have lows, and it's not always highs. It's not always sunshines and rainbows. Being in a relationship's not always on peak 10, right? There's going to be peaks and valleys in anything in life. And so you just got to figure out, do your goals, your dreams, your desires outweigh the pain of failing and not making it happen? Like, what's worse? Pain. Like, to me, worse pain is not trying. I rather fail trying than not try at all and have that what if and that unknown. And that's the kind of stuff I talk to people about, because there's people in my profession, in my company, that make 7 figures, multiple 7 figures, triple 7 figures, and they put on their shoes and socks and undies the same way you and I do. The only difference is their desire level, their consistent effort, and they have a coach that pushed them when they didn't want to be pushed, but you got to force the action sometimes. And so you got to be there, and it's not always about business either. You got to, if you got a volunteer entrepreneurial army, ask about how their parents are doing, how their kids are doing, how their spouse is doing, how they're doing. You guys holding up during this pandemic? How are you guys handling it? What's going on in your head? Talk, become a friend first, at the same time of being a mentor, because people get into different opportunities because they see the light bulbs of financial success and freedom. But ultimately, David, they stay because of the relationships.
You're absolutely, and it's interesting that in any organization, that seems to be the case. That people leave because of bad leadership, but they stay because of the relationships that they built, and they stay because of good leaders that built relationships with their people.
Exactly.
And you brought up a couple of major points here, and I remember I finally made the varsity wrestling team, right? Finally made it, and I'm on cloud 9 because I'm like, okay, I have freaking arrived. But no, Coach Daryl Henry, arguably one of the best coaches in all of wrestling history, he's like, oh, so you finally made the wrestling team? Well, that's fantastic. He didn't say this to me, but he went ahead and every single day he made somebody challenge me for my position every single day. Yep. And I thought, wait a minute, I don't see anybody else being challenged for their position. So I started getting a little pissed off, a little salty. But in reality, what that forced me to do is work harder. It forced me to stay after practice. It forced me to do work before practice. It forced me to run on the weekends. And why? Because he knew exactly what I needed to turn out the best possible, the best possible way that I could, right? And it's interesting because you talked about asking questions, and you were a master question asker. And as you ask better questions, you're getting significantly better answers where you're able to help your people do what they need to do. Obviously, he had asked me at one point, do you really want to be here? Do you really want to do this? And like an idiot, I said yes. So then he went ahead and pushed all these obstacles in my way that I had to overcome in order to get better. And so asking better questions, we get better answers. But once you've done that and you've found what lights them up, how do you, what do you do to keep that in front of them, to keep people motivated?
So, well, you got to keep the eye on the prize, right? And you've got to find their pressure points, and you got to keep pressure on them in a positive way. Like your wrestling coach put pressure on you because he knew you could handle it, and he knew that there was another level to you as an individual, and he pushed you. You hated him at that time, but now you probably have the utmost respect for him because he challenged you to go to different levels that you didn't think you could go. And he, at the end of the day, everybody in the world has different levels they can go to. They just pick the easy path and not to be challenged. That's why 97% of the population work for the 3%ers. They don't want, they don't want to be pushed. They don't want to be challenged and different things like that. So what I typically do is I just reiterate when they're riding that roller coaster and they're having great success or not so great success, I keep the eye on the prize. Like, hey, you told me by the end of this year you wanted to be able to bring your husband home from work, or you told me that you wanted to have enough money for the college fund for the kids, or you told me you want to retire your parents because they're getting old and they're stressed out and Social Security is not going to cover it. And this decision of you making less calls or less presentations or less follow-ups today are going to slow that result down. So it's up to you if you want to slow down, bringing your husband or spouse home or significant other, or paying off that credit card debt, or creating those memories, getting your family to Bali or Fiji, or creating those life peak experiences. Whatever they tell me, that's the key thing, is while listening and getting questions, you got to make sure you absorb them and not just hear them, but take them in, write them down. I had a mentor, a friend of mine, who she didn't know she was a mentor of mine. About 2011, probably 12 or 13, she always talks about vision boards. Which what she did is she created a vision board of all the things that she wants. And a lot of you probably have heard about creating vision boards, but you haven't heard it this way. She said what she does is she puts all her vision boards on, but then she got with the people that she was going to run with and make some serious runs. They put all their vision boards on top of her vision boards. And as she helped them get their vision board completed, then hers automatically got completed. Because when you help enough people in life get what they want, you automatically get what you want. And we've heard that from Zig Ziglar a million times and different things, but it's a different way of looking at it, right? Because now you're really you're not focused on your luxury vehicle or your home or your travel plans. What you're doing is, I'm working with David, and his plan is to be an international speaker coach. And so if I have that on my vision board with my vision board underneath it, and I'm helping someone like you get where you want to go, I automatically, because of the success that we help you get, we automatically get.
That is beautiful, by the way. That is the first time I've ever heard that concept. Now I've heard, don't get me wrong, we've all heard Zig Ziglar, but that is the first time I've ever heard that vision board concept. And that's neat. That, of course, is written down, and good thing we're recording this too. So when it comes to finding people that are looking for your line of business, what type of marketing do you do? Like, what kind of a program do you run, or what do you do to attract more attention, or to find those people that really want to build something meaningful? And even with this whole COVID-19 thing, where people are shut down and have been locked up, and we could go on down the rabbit hole there, but we won't. But all these people are locked up, forced to stay home, making no money. A lot of problems out there right now. Many of those situations could have been solved or eliminated had they been in the entrepreneurial space like you're in right now. So how do you find people to move forward with?
So a couple different things. It's a longer answer for sure. And so here's what I can tell you. The best time to start building a business for yourself couldn't be better than right now. There's an old saying, screw me once, shame on you, but screw me twice, shame on me. What does that mean? Well, what happened to us because of COVID and the pandemic wasn't our fault. It wasn't our fault, okay? However, how we respond to what happened to us is our fault. So if every 8 to 12 years, something happens in the world, In 2007 through 9, we had the real estate crisis. Now we have the pandemic. Hey, in 7 to 10 years from now, we're going to have another thing happen to us. The question is are you going to start doing something different now, so when there is another crisis of some sort, it doesn't affect you? And that's the whole screw me once, shame on you, screw me twice, shame on me. Meaning, if you don't do anything right now and something else happens to you in 8 to 12 years, it's your fault then, because you had a warning shot. This was your warning shot. And so that's what I tell people. The second thing is, especially in America, we have almost 50 million people that have filed for unemployment, meaning they were collecting checks of roughly $800 a week, which some people are not even making that at their jobs. And so now people have paid off a lot of debt. People have been sitting at home, collecting money, not spending as much because they don't have anything to go do. And this is a prime time to reach out to see if they're open to taking a look at your product, service, or opportunity, whatever it is you may be doing. So I do a lot of different I call it prospecting. And the one thing that I've realized is I'm a decision collector, meaning I'm not trying to sell or convince you to do what I do. I just simply ask questions if they're open to taking a look at what I have going on during this pandemic. So I might just say, hey, David, let me ask you a question. I know you're a success coach, but do you ever look at other ways of making money part-time around what you're currently doing if it doesn't interfere with what you have going on? Let me know. Either way, it's fine. And I'm going to ask 100 people a day. And out of 100 people, I'm going to get 20 people to say, what do you got? So I don't take it emotionally if someone says no, or they're not interested.
Whoa, wait a minute, DJ. You don't fall over dead when somebody says no? You don't like freak out and go hide in a hole when somebody tells you no? I don't understand. Really?
I know, right? It's
okay.
So many people get.
I didn't mean to interrupt you on that one, but I wanted to make a pretty serious point though, because so many times people say no to entrepreneurism simply because they take it personally when somebody tells them no. Like they get all hurt, like almost like they feel like their self-esteem no longer exists because somebody told them no. So anyways, as you look at that, DJ, and you continue on with where you were going with that, I just want the listeners to know that it's okay. People say no, it's okay because they didn't say no to you. They're not saying, no, I don't like you, David. No, I don't like you, DJ. They're just saying, no, I don't want your opportunity. It's okay. And then 10 years later, when the whole world is shut down and you're still making money and they're not, they'll look at you and go, damn, remember that when Adams talked to me 10 years ago, if I'd have paid attention, I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in right now. Right. But
spot on, man.
I digress, DJ. I digress.
No, you're good. I mean, here's the reality. When you go eat at a restaurant and the server says, would you like coffee and dessert? And you say no, they don't go in the back and coddle and start dry heaving and reevaluating their business and their life, do they? They're just asking the questions. And the more people you ask, the more results you get. And the more results you get, the luckier you get in life. That's just the way it is. But if you don't get up and take one stride at the plate and make things happen, it ain't going to happen. And so I go through numbers. I'm not, all I am is a decision collector. Are you interested or not? Either way is fine. Let me know. And I don't prejudge, man. I don't assume someone's interested. I don't assume they're not interested. The people you think want your opportunity typically don't. The ones that you never thought would want it, obviously, a lot of times do take it. You don't know who's praying on their hands and knees behind closed doors for a miracle, an opportunity to come their way. So I don't prejudge. I don't care if you're broke. I don't care if you're worth $20 million. I'm going to reach out to you and I'm going to go through the numbers. And so all I did when I first started, I had no fear mindset, man. I just went, I went to YouTube and said, how do I print my contacts on all my social media feeds like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn? And I created a thick pack of people I was connected with. Some people I knew like you, and some people I had no clue who they were, but we were connected on Facebook. I did not care. I'm going to reach out to you. Why? Because I know down to my core being that I've got the greatest opportunity in the world. I've got the greatest system, the greatest support system, the greatest culture. Like I know that we have the deal. And so I'm collecting decisions. I'm just seeing if they're open. And then I also, I call that direct marketing, reaching out to people, but I also do some attraction marketing where I'll do Facebook lives. And there's a philosophy of how to do a correct Facebook Live, and I do attraction marketing posts where I'll get people to engage on my profile. I'll even ask people to do a referral post for me. There's so many ways that you can build a business, not with just the people you know, but who they know and who they know. And the 6th degree of separation is, don't be limited to what you think your results could be based upon who you know. There's so many ways. That's why you just got to get plugged in with a coach like yourself, a mentor like yourself. And there's a saying, leaders can see around corners. So at the end of the day, we know where we're going. Everything we do is with intention and with purpose and certainty. And so if you partner up with people like that, the only way you'll fail is if you just don't show up. You're just not consistent, right? All these different things. But there's so many free ways to generate unlimited amount of leads for business today than ever before. I mean, if you want to sell wellness and weight loss, you could join so many free groups on social media and reach out and build relationships with people. If you're in the travel space, you could go into any travel group that you wanted to and follow comments and posts. You could go to sponsored ads that pertain to your business and go connect with all the people engaging on sponsored ads that are selling the same thing you're selling. They're running the ad, but you're generating their leads for free. Like, there's so many ways that you can build a business from your smartphone, as long as you're just coachable and you show up.
You're absolutely right, DJ. It's just a process of doing the work, right? You said it. You've been saying it actually for 40 minutes now. Just do the work, right? Show up and do the work.
Man.
Now, you also were speaking with me, and we talked a little bit about this AI technology that's out there that is a little bit different way of marketing. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, man. So, one of the things I did 2 years ago is I've been in my profession for 24 years. So 2 years ago, 22 years. And I did it all belly to belly, kneecap to kneecap, driving around all over the city, coffee shop, living room, flying in airplanes, being the rock star, doing all that stuff, which is great. I had a lot of fun. We had a great success, but I got burnt out. I'm human. And I started getting together with a group of leaders that I have a mass amount of respect for. And we started developing an online system, leveraging Facebook and Facebook groups. And instead of doing presentations all around the city and all around the world, we just drove traffic to these groups, and we killed it. We put in over 72,000 people in a page in 24 months. Like, we killed it. We're still killing it. But what I realized also is Facebook changes their rules all the time. And when we first started the group, you could add someone to the group, tag them on a presentation without their permission. Now you got to get their permission to add them to the group, then tag them. And it's more of a process, right? And it still works. It's great. But you got the person that's not savvy on social media has to go to their notifications, find the invite, and it's more of a convoluted situation. So when the pandemic hit, I started doing a bunch of Zoom presentations for our product, okay? That what we market, and we were signing up 80-90% of the people. We were killing it, but then we ran out of time in a day because of everybody. We had such a captive audience right now because people are at home and not working full time. And so then I was like, all right, I'm going to create a Zoom link where people can watch the Zoom, then I'll follow up with them, which that worked great too. And it still works great today. I started following up with people, not to see if they were interested in what they saw, but I was following up to see if they watched what I sent them. So I had to follow up there, then follow up again to see if they were interested. So then I was like, I need some type of a landing page where I can put them in a landing page. They opt in, they see the presentation. If they don't opt in, I don't get a notification. If I do opt in, or if they do opt in, then I know which way to follow up, and so on and so forth. So I looked actually at ClickFunnels, great company. I just didn't need that much sophistication. It does over 90 different things, and it was just too much for what I personally needed it for. If you're an internet guru marketer and you need all the bells and whistles, great program. But 99% of the people aren't that person. So a friend of mine said, hey, you should reach out to this company out of Toronto, Canada. And I said, well, what do they do? Well, they have about 8 different things that they do, but one of them is what you're looking for, which is a landing page. So I said, I'll try it. It was cheaper than ClickFunnels. But so when I set up my account, it asked for my LLC, what industry I'm in, my subcategory, and 10 keywords and phrases that best describe it. And within 60 seconds, it created my landing page. Then I went in there and personalized it, put some videos and some buttons and pictures and fonts and made it all, personalized. And it's awesome. Now I've got a landing page that does the same thing as a Zoom, but it was just another tool that I could use. But then it also does your social media content. Most people, how do I say this nicely, suck at sales. And so what happens is they try to constantly, have their Facebook profile as an infomercial and try to sell, which most people don't like to be sold, but they love to buy, don't they? And so if you put so what's cool is this program does all my social media content because of the 10 keywords and phrases that I created. It brings up content around my profession, and then people engage in it, which like, shares, and comments are engaged. They raise their virtual hand, and then I follow up, build a rapport connection, and see if I can help them with what we have to offer. So it does the social media marketing, it does your landing pages, it does your SEO, your Google Analytics, your retargeting, your contact management system, your email campaigns, your newsletters. See, as an entrepreneur, how many of you just got overwhelmed hearing all that? Because most people will, myself included, David. See, most companies out there, you have to go get eight different companies, spend 8 different monthly subscriptions, and get all 8 companies to integrate to each other. And a confused mind does nothing, right?
That's right.
So I did nothing for the longest time because I didn't want to learn Constant Contact and Blogger and Aweber and Salesforce and all these ClickFunnels or WordPress or Wix or all these different things. I just wanted one system that did it all. That's called AI, artificial intelligence. And that's what we did. And we're using this tool to grow our primary business. Do I use it all the time? Not all the time. I get on the phone and do 3-way chats. It's all about high tech, but also high touch. It's a tool in the tool belt that can help you grow your business. That's what AI technology is. That's why I love it. And all 8 things normally would cost somebody $500 to $1,500 a month. When the one I use is only $87. It's super inexpensive. And there's tremendous amount of value with what we've got going on with it, which is really cool.
Absolutely. And I will tell you right now, as a ClickFunnels user, because of I host my courses and things like that there, but you're right, because I also, as you know, am using the AI technology piece, and it is like night and day easy to set up, done, versus the other, which is significantly more work, like a lot more work to use the other piece and this program, because you're typically right now utilizing this AI to drive traffic for your travel business, correct? So it's you're using the one to feed the other, and then and also with that, is there a way you can make money with the AI, or is it just a subscription that you just pay for, or is there also a way that you can make money with it?
So when I first saw this at the end of March, I got into this just because to be a customer. The individual that shared this software with me didn't talk to me about anything other than I was looking for a software to use, and that was it. And then about 2 months into it, I started, sitting on my couch on May 22nd, having some wine and just kind of peeking around the other areas. And I noticed there was an area where it said, if you, under the profile section, if you refer 3 business owners that use this software, we'll actually give it to you for free. And I'm like, well, why didn't the guy tell me about this 2 months ago? So I reached out to a buddy of mine that owns a yoga studio, insurance company, and a real estate company. And I just said, hey, I don't know if you use any AI technology or not, but between doing Zooms and leveraging this software, I grew my business in the travel space during a pandemic by 35%. You may like it, you may not. Let me know. Either way is fine. Well, they all 3 of them said, let me see what you got. Within 3 days, they signed up for it. They sent me my $87 back, which was really cool. And I got it for free ever since. And then 2 days later, I get an email that says, hey, if you want to, congratulations on getting your subscription for free. If you watch this 23-minute video, answer a couple 3 questions, we'll get you accredited and you can to market our software. And for me, like, my main business, travel is my main business. I love that business. But there's also people that I talk to that might not be interested in travel, right? And they might not be interested in my business because they're passionate about their business. And if I can offer you a tool that helped me grow by 35% and could help you grow, I'm going to share it. And now I get to do business with people that I would have never had the opportunity to do business with. But I also have heard from every multi-millionaire that you need at least how many streams of income, David?
Multiple.
7, right? At least 7. So the truth of the matter is, yes, there's a way you can make money with that software, but that's not really what my intention was. But it has taken off for another stream of income. It's been a lot of fun. I love working with 10s, 9s, and 8s in business, people that are already entrepreneurs, people already have something going on. You're just sprinkling a little fairy dust on their fire to help them go to the next level. Don't get me wrong. I love talking to people that have no business being in business, but that's where I started. But I also had desire. I can't, like, you can't give somebody desire. You can't teach desire. You've got to have that burning desire. You could teach skill set, mindset, all that kind of stuff, because I didn't have the mindset I had today, but I've always had the desire of making money, traveling the world, being financially free, living life on my terms, not anybody else's terms. And that's what residual income can do. And if you've got multiple streams of residual income, it's a blessing in disguise. And because of residual income, you have freedom. And it's not about making millions of dollars. It's about making $1 more in residual income than you have going out every single month. To me, you're free. If you can wake up when you're done sleeping, go to bed when you're tired, and because you're not dictated on, you're not worried about your life based on how much money you make. You're worried about what decisions you want to do because you have enough money coming in to cover your lifestyle, right? And so that's right. What the travel technology that we have has done for my family and I, and now this AI technology is doing along with it. It's complementing it very well. It's a 1-2 punch. It's a lot of fun. But when you can have a system that does your follow-up, it captures all your leads, it adds value to what your followers are doing, giving them content around your profession, and does your presentations for you. All you have to do is invite people to take a look and keep our schedule full with 3-way chats after they take a look, and let the experts and the leaders, be your strong arm and close the deal.
Right. So in the last few minutes, can you kind of share with everybody your thoughts around what role communication plays in your ability to lead and your ability to really connect with people? And if you have a couple tips or tricks that you utilize in connecting with people that could help the listeners out.
Communication's everything, not even just business, but like my wife and I talk about it all the time. Communication is what drives relationships. And when you're a leader and you've got people that are volunteer entrepreneurs and you're going to lead them, it's a relationship. And people don't really care how much you know. They want to know how much you care. And people can see through, I call it the BS. They can see through if you're not sincere, if you're full of it. Like, people, when they work with me, they know that I've got their back. I'll stay up till 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock in the morning to do whatever it takes, no matter what country you're in, for the people I work with. I know that when they sign that application, they're not signing up to sell travel or because of our lucrative compensation plan or the subscription that we have that's absolutely amazing. They're signing up because of you as an individual, as a me. And so that's when it's not signing them up is the win. The work starts when you sign people up into whatever you're selling. That's when you have to go to work. That's not, the score is not going, oh, I got one to sign up, boom. No, the score is when you get them a residual check. That's the win right there. And so it's all about communication. The tools I use, I use tools like Telegram is a great tool for apps for communication. Obviously, I use the AI technology for building, and I love using Facebook Messenger for 3-way chats because we can jump on videos and I can look at people in the eye and see if they're paying attention, see if they really have the desire, not just their mouth talking. Because you can't, video's everything, man. You can see if they're paying attention or if they're scrolling while you're talking to them, right? And so but the tools, I'm going to use the pressure points that they shared with me with what they want to get. Because when I'm closing somebody, and everybody thinks closing's a bad word, all I'm doing is I'm collecting decisions. But if David says to me, and I'm just going to make this up, it is, I want to build this thing part-time. I want to get it to $2,500 a month, and I can give you, 15, 20 hours a week. And my response will be to say, great. So let me ask you a question. Are you going to be coachable? Are you going to listen to exactly what it takes to get to $2,500 a month, and you're willing to give me 15, 20 hours a week, and you're going to do exactly what we teach you to do. So I'm going to get you to buy in, and you're going to say yes. And I'll say, great, let me ask you a question. If I can guarantee you $2,500 a month within a period of, say, 6 months or a year, whatever that number is that we decide, and you commit the 20 hours a week or 15 hours a week, and you're going to be coachable, are you ready to get started? And you can see he's nodding his head, right? So it's not me of closing him. I'm listening to what he wants, because I know I can get you to $2,500 a month. I did that in my first 30 days. So in my business. So I know we can do it. It's already been done, and I know how to do it. So I know I can get you there. But the question is I role play it back to you. Are you willing to put in the 15, 20 hours a week? Are you going to be coachable? Are you going to do what it takes to win? Are you going to, use the scripts? Are you going to use the 2-minute video that we use? And are you going to set up 3-way chats? Because I can give you the entire formula of success, but if you take out one ingredient, it doesn't matter. And so are you willing to do all that to get this? And are you ready to get started to make that happen?
Right. Yeah. Without utilizing every ingredient, you're going to get something very different. It's like trying to dial a phone number with one of the digits out of place. It's just never going to connect.
Spot on.
For
yeah.
sure.
No, you got it, man.
So we're going to shift just a little bit into communication with your spouse, and how do you, as an entrepreneur, remain undistracted when you are sharing time with the people that you love the most, right? Because I know that you get calls from everybody all the time, messages, everything. How do you set that aside and give her your full attention, or give your family your full attention when you need to?
So you got to get their buy-in. You got to get them engaged in your business, even though they're not directly part of your business. They're indirectly the reason probably why you're building your business. And so what I would do a lot of times at different parts of my business is, and I would say, listen, honey, I need to go on a 30-day run or a 90-day run over the next 90 days. There's Thanksgiving. I'm not traveling the family this year. I know your birthday is this day. We're going to do it on this day. Like I can hit these. If I can hit these goals over the next 90 days, then we're going to go do this for the prize. So you got to have a prize, whether it's a 30-day goal or even like, right now, kids are at home being homeschooled. Parents are being challenged right now. They're going to be put to the test. They're going to be pushed to their limits. So what you need to do is get the buy-in of the kids and say, hey, listen, it's going to be an interesting time. You're homeschooling. I'm in that room over there working from home. This is different. Normally you go to your school and normally I go to my work. And now we're doing it together, but I need you to stay completely focused. Just because I'm home and you're done with your homework, it doesn't mean I'm ready to go play football and catch in the front yard. I'm still working. Even though you see me, I'm still working. So this entire week, I can't have you interrupt me. But here's what I'll do is, if you don't come through these doors unless it's an absolute emergency, and you can do this for 5 days, on Friday night, I'm going to take you out for ice cream, and we're going to celebrate and reward you with your favorite ice cream. What's your favorite ice cream of the week right now? And what do you want on there? What toppings do you want? Do you want it in a cone or do you want it in a dish? And I'm going to go down to the frosting and everything, the chocolate sauce, the caramel sauce, the hot sauce. I'm going to say, all right, I taste that. Do you taste that? I can't wait for Friday, but it's up to you if we both get it. And so I'm getting their buy-in, man.
I can't wait for lunch. You just talked me into going to get one right now.
So I mean, that's the truth of the matter is that you gotta like, okay, I in order for you to get this, I need to do this, and you can't do it for 6 months or a year. You got to do it in short increments and get prizes along the way.
Right. No, that's beautiful. I really appreciate that. That's some fantastic advice. So if anybody is interested in the business that DJ is working with, and that I'm actually working with DJ in, then shoot me a private message and we'll get you some information so you can take a look at it and see if it's something that you are interested in. I will tell you that it is a blast. I mean, we're going to Colorado here very shortly for
Labor Day weekend. We're gonna go have some fun, man. We're going to go hang out with
a
a group of entrepreneurs, leaders, and we're going to have fun. There's going to be golf tournaments and fishing and hiking and historical things to go do, and just hanging around a campfire with a bunch of people that are ridiculously successful, but also that have the desires to go where they're at. And when you can have those bonfire conversations, those are where you learn the most. When you can get someone that has in life what you already want to have, and you can sit down with them on a casual level, you can't put a price tag on that. So we're gonna have some fun that weekend. So yeah, there's some room for a few more to come with us and hang out and come enjoy with us, man. But I appreciate you putting this together, man. I've been watching you every day. You don't miss a Facebook Live. You do everything with intention. You do everything with purpose. And you're definitely the leader's leader. You've done well in a traditional business. Now you're an entrepreneur. You're selling coaching programs and different memberships, I'm assuming, and subscriptions to get your tools and your leadership advice and consult with you as a coach. So kudos to you, man.
Thank you, DJ. I really appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk again soon, I am sure. But again, listeners, thanks for coming on, and we will talk to you all again very soon.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one, guys.